Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out to Public Invention's Inventor Gathering for February. We host these gatherings every month on the third Thursday from 8 to 9:30. This month's topic is Women in STEM and Women in Open Source. If you missed this and are watching it on our YouTube channel, definitely leave a comment and connect with us. But if you're not familiar with who Public Invention is and what these gatherings are, let me just give you a brief overview. So Public Invention is a US 501c3 STEM nonprofit who brings together non-STEM backgrounds as well as STEM backgrounds to accomplish a humanitarian project through open source development. And these projects are to make the world a better place. We do this by removing any legal barriers and allowing the free use of our inventions. If work that we do aligns with missions that you'd like to financially contribute to, definitely check out our website and make a donation through our donation tab. All right, let's get into it. So tonight we have a lot of co-speakers that couldn't be present in person. So I'd like to first preface with the fact that we took recordings from their contributions and included it here so that you could have a diverse pool of opinions from different industry leaders and women in STEM. So I'd like to start by introducing our speakers. Okay, and I'll start with myself. Hi, I'm Megan Cadena. I'm the outreach coordinator for Public Invention, and my background is in biomedical engineering. I actually did an undergrad BS in biomedical engineering at the University of Texas in Austin. And just to kind of shed light on my background, I'm a first generation graduate with a Hispanic and Native American background. I'm a woman in engineering, and I kind of got into biomedical engineering because of my pursuit to contribute into healthcare in indirect ways. And during my undergraduate season of life, I kind of wanted to contribute on research projects not tied to an institution, but I also sought after like mentorship and kind of like a PI structure where you could independently create your research concept, but not be limited to the concept of like a PI for an academic institution, which kind of brought me into the realm of public invention. And I got connected through a mutual friend that introduced me to the founder, Dr. Robert Reed. And from there, I kind of contributed on, hi, Dr. Reed. I kind of contributed on research projects such as the soft robot math paper and Simulink pressure lung. So these are both kind of research papers that went more into the theoretical application of research, not a physical prototype. And tonight's gathering isn't too much about these projects in specific, but if you're ever interested in checking out our GitHub repositories and looking into these papers and learning more, feel free to connect with me or any of the other researchers that you'll hear from tonight. And we're happy to speak on our research and collaborate together in the future. My future goals include pursuing graduate school. I hope to go back to med school, hopefully, as well as maybe a master's in engineering and kind of help develop startup incubators or medical device design with a clinician's kind of perspective. With that said, I'd like to introduce the other co-speakers, starting with Oyen. So Oyen is a mechanical engineering student at the University of Oklahoma. She's in her third year of her undergraduate studies. She's like at the moment actually contributing on a project known as Crake, which used to be known as General Purpose Alarm Device, but has additive features which have evolved it to be known as the new project known as Crake. And her future goals are actually to contribute in the field of robotics, as well as hopefully to make efforts in making technology cleaner for the environment. So she'll do this through projects, which she'll break down later in this presentation, what she's done in Crake project, as well as what she'll hope to do or what she's gained from public invention and hopes to contribute to an industry. But a little bit about her as a person. She likes to read and write, as well as she likes to create dramas for the local church. She kind of heard about our organization by looking for opportunities over the summer to contribute on projects that help the community, but also refining her skill sets as an engineer. And she'll kind of dig into this on what public invention did for her and how she would encourage others to also participate. All right, with that being said, let's dig into the next co-speaker.
Hello, my name is Melanie Laporte. I am a creative engineer and rising junior at Columbia University studying computer science and design. As a first-generation college student, I am passionate about merging design, technology, and creativity. I work on multiple open source projects such as the Moon Rat, the 3D printed Narcan candy for raves, that aims to decrease opiate overdoses at music festivals, and the Gosquas GDT. My future career goals are graduate school and becoming a serial entrepreneur and inventor. My other interests are fencing, creative coding, inventing solutions, robotics, F1 racing, animation to make movies, and inspiring the next generation of engineers and designers.
Awesome. Thank you, Melanie. Next, we'll hear from Nagam Kir from Lebanon. And it's important actually before we go into hers to note that a lot of these speakers couldn't be here tonight because they're in different time zones or currently in school and classes. So definitely recognize that no matter what area or country you're from, we welcome all from all backgrounds, whether you identify as a woman or other genders, or whether you're from areas that may not have these resources and opportunities available. All are welcome to contribute not only in the organization, but also in the projects as well as the future gathering presentations if interested. So next, I'd like to welcome Nagam.
Hello everyone, good evening. This is Naham Khair from Lebanon. I am a biomedical engineering graduate with a passion for innovation. I'm contributing to the Craig project through Public Invention. Currently, I'm expanding my expertise in PCB design and web technologies. In my professional journey, I'm starting as a support coordinator in a biomedical company, gaining valuable experience in the STEM field. Beyond career ambitions, I seek continuous personal growth, expanding my skills, learning new languages, and maintaining an active lifestyle, of course. I hope you all enjoy this presentation and find it both inspiring and beneficial to you.
Thank you. Next, we'll kind of break down our objectives with this presentation because there's multiple angles you can kind of take this topic, and we kind of want to bring it to a smaller scope. So our objectives tonight are one, to empower others by connecting different women in STEM and open source together with others who contribute with them or others who identify like them. We want to provide resources and supply strategies for developing your skills while also offering solutions to the challenges you'll have to overcome by being a woman in STEM and open source, while inspiring other women to major in STEM. So these are just kind of the points we want to come across by the end of this presentation. Next, I'd like to break down kind of the target audience for tonight. So we specifically want to target, of course, women in STEM, as well as high school students interested in pursuing STEM, but also individuals who interact with women in STEM. I think they're often left out in this conversation, but they're a very vital component because this includes the brothers, fathers, friends, mentors, colleagues, and coworkers that have a hand in shaping inclusivity within environments where women will kind of come participate as SMEs in STEM or as well as SMEs in open source. So this is crucial because in order to foster this environment of inclusivity and equality, we have to understand the experiences that women will go through in STEM and in open source. And this will in turn help us bridge that gender gap and kind of educate but inspire others to feel comfortable to encourage women and also be a woman in STEM. Okay, thank you. Next, we'll kind of break down the topics in the different sections of this presentation. So first we'll start off with the challenging leg, which is us breaking down the challenges you must overcome as a woman in STEM and open source. This will be led by Nagam, and then it will be passed on to Oyen to kind of talk about the empowerment and how you can overcome the solutions discussed, including public invention and projects, as well as open source communities. And from there, kind of providing practical solutions and ways to grow yourself and feel more comfortable in these environments. We'd like to then highlight the contributions of women in public invention and how you can also contribute to public invention projects or other open source communities. So with that being said, I'd like to segue into the challenges discussed by Nagam Kir.
Women in the STEM field and open source communities face a lot of challenges in today's society. Women often struggle to access funding for research, startups, and projects. Here, limited resources and access to fundings is a real challenge for women. Balancing technical and social aspects, where women may feel pressure to take on organizational or administrative roles over technical work. It's important to set boundaries here and prioritize technical growth. Advocate for personal assignment that align with your expertise, guys. Third, we have the gender bias and stereotypes. Women in STEM may be underestimated or given less challenging tasks. It's advised to speak up about your accomplishments, and that's something that I do, which is document contributions clearly and seek support. Fourth, we have work-life balance, and managing career growth alongside personal responsibilities can be difficult. You need to set clear boundaries for work and personal time. Now, 5, we have imposter syndrome, where many women feel they don't belong or aren't good enough despite their qualifications. So, again, let's keep track of achievements. It's good to get comfortable with self-promotion and surround ourselves with strong support network. That will work. Next, we have retention issues. Women leave STEM fields at higher rates due to workplace culture and lack of advancement. See companies with strong diversity and inclusion policies. That will help, trust me. Next, we have perceived competence gap. Women are often judged more critically or need to prove themselves repeatedly. Well, own your expertise confidently. Next, we have number 8, that is unequal recognition, where women's contributions may be overlooked or attributed to other colleagues. Keep records of your work. Highlight contributions in meetings and give credit to other women. Always give credit to other women when possible. Number 9, fewer mentors and role models in specialized fields. Lack of guidance from women in niche technical areas is a real challenge. Finally, we have the limited access to hands-on experience. This is a real challenge. Women often receive fewer opportunities for practical technical training. It's advised to take initiatives in learning by joining maker spaces, open source projects, and maybe online boot camps.
Thank you, Naim. So I think all of these points are really important to highlight because they represent different perspectives of the challenges you might face as a woman in STEM, but it doesn't include everything. And there's no way to really dig into every complication that a woman might face in STEM and open source, but we think that these are really crucial ones to highlight. With that being said, we'd like to break into tandem solutions to kind of combat these specific challenges and are open to other solutions you might also know that work. Feel free to comment them at the end if you're watching this as YouTube, but if you're live, feel free to comment them at the end to actually offer it to other women in this live talk as well. So we're going to hear solutions by Nagam.
Or, in other words, supportive actions for women in STEM. We'll start with mentorship and sponsorship programs. Having mentors and sponsors can open doors for new opportunities. And it's good to seek mentors in your field through LinkedIn, professional organizations, and networks. Join sponsorship programs where senior professionals advocate for career advancement. Encourage peer support. It's really important because a strong support system helps navigate workplace challenges. So create or join women in STEM communities. Form accountability groups for skills building and career growth. Next, we have training on self-advocacy. Wow, that's a huge one. Women often hesitate to negotiate salaries, ask for promotions, or highlight accomplishments. And it's important to take workshops on negotiation and public speaking. And it really helps if we keep a record of achievements to showcase when opportunities arise. Next, we have creating inclusive work environments. Workplace culture plays a big role in retention and job satisfaction. Where we are either create inclusive environments and/or advocate for diversity policies and equal representation, speak up against biases, and support initiatives that promote inclusivity. Encourage collaborative leadership. While traditional leadership styles may not always be inclusive or supportive for diverse voices, foster teamwork and encourage open discussions. Promote leadership models that value diverse perspectives. Independence builds confidence and resilience and comes from self-driven actions without external help. And the steps towards that is to take initiative in learning and solving problems. Avoid waiting for validation. Start projects. Apply for opportunities and experiment with ideas. Access to learning is no longer limited to formal education. Use platforms like Coursera, Udemy, edX, MIT open source, OpenCourseWare. Stay updated with industry trends. Utilize online resources and learn independently. Practice theoretical knowledge. And repetition is the key for skill mastery. Practice application solidifies learning. Do that by working on personal projects and build a portfolio. Repeat tasks until they become second nature. Invest in education and tools. Allocate budget for growth. Set aside a budget for books, courses, or certificates. Look for employer-sponsored training or scholarships. Investing in education and tools accelerates career progression. You can always gain experience through volunteering and open source projects. Hands-on experience builds incredibility and skills. Contribute to open source projects on GitHub, for example. Volunteer for STEM initiatives or assist in research projects. Public Invention is a great space, and there's a lot of projects that we can be putting our energy in.
Thank you. Yes. I think through these solutions, you can really, one, build resilience, but also commitment to breaking the barriers as a woman who's reshaping the environment for not only those that come behind you, but also those you're working with and including yourself. With this in mind, I love the fact that she hallmarked the open source projects because I do think a lot of us that have contributed to public invention can agree that our contributions on projects have kind of helped us to overcome some of these challenges we see within our own experiences by gaining new skills, feeling confident in ourselves, as well as developing projects we can showcase on our portfolio or as a research publication. So that's something we really wanted to highlight in this. And I want to break into this a little bit more by listening to Oyen. And she's going to start by explaining why open source communities directly impact women in STEM and in open source organizations, but also as her experience as a new public inventor. So let's hear from Oyen.
Hello everyone, my name is Adeniro Oyindamola and I am going to be talking about the spotlight on open source communities. Okay. So, firstly, I'll talk about public invention. So, public inventions works to break down barriers by fostering an inclusive environment that supports women's contributions in a space traditionally dominated by men, specifically in innovation for the public good. Then platforms like Public Inventions not only provide access to valuable resources and tools, but also foster an environment where individuals can grow their skills while making meaningful contributions to the community. In a society and in a place like Public Inventions, mentors help build trust and confidence in newcomers. And then this guidance allows students to hone their skills, tackle challenges, and gain the independence to bring their own ideas and inventions to life. But not just their own ideas and inventions, but the ideas and inventions of others. Next.
Absolutely. So next we'll hear from Oyen, who took the initiative to engage in open source projects and volunteer through public invention directly. She'll kind of share her perspective on her experience as well as being in STEM and how open collaboration has shaped her technical growth along with her confidence. So let's hear from her as she shares with us her project.
First, we're talking about my experience and how being in public inventions has helped me as a woman, firstly, and secondly, as an undergrad mechanical engineering student. So before public inventions, which was like maybe 6 months ago, I was an unequipped second year mechanical engineering undergraduate, and I wanted to gain experience through an internship, but it wasn't the easiest to do as an international student in a community college. So I decided to volunteer at Public Inventions, and Public Inventions has been an eye-opening experience. And during my time here, I've learned to use OpenSCAD to create enclosures for prototypes, um, especially PWA, which is I'll just say an assembly printed circuits. So in my time here, I've been able to cooperate and gain experience and learn from mentors with just many years of experience. I currently am working with a biomedical engineer and a biomedical engineer graduate and an electrical engineer who's been working in the field for over 20 years. So just so much has knowledge has been deposited during my time at public inventions, and I've just learned so much. Public inventions has provided a safe environment for me to learn technical and soft skills. Like the pacing in this community is amazing because there is just always time to learn and grow, and a lovely experience, a place where I've been able to grow naturally and it's not forced. My learning progress is not forced or there are no time constraints. I have as much time as I can to slowly understand stuff, and working with people again with many years of experience has also been really, really helpful. So yeah, I've been at Public Inventions for about 6 months now. I think it'll be 7 months now. And it's just been an awesome experience.
Nice, thank you. Next, we'll kind of hear from another inventor. This would be Melanie, the co-speaker introduced in the beginning. She contributed on the MoonRat project, and this is her interpretation of what she contributed, as well as what that project does and gives back to the community and how it's kind of helped her directly.
I have worked on the MoonRat project, which is an open source, low cost, portable incubator, as the lead systems engineer and project manager. The MoonRat enables rapid on-site microbial testing using Petri film to detect E. coli contamination in drinking water, which is a key indicator of unsafe water. By making microbial testing more accessible and affordable, the project empowers users to monitor water quality in real time, bridging the gap between science and public health. And because the incubator is open source, Anyone is free to create their own version of the unit. In my role as the lead systems engineer and project manager, I have led the technical development of the Moonrat 2 incubator, designing and refining the PCB, hardware, enclosure, and software validation processes. I have managed a multinational open source development team using agile methodologies and coordinated prototype testing and iteration, and learned, then used KiCad, FreeCAD, and electronic prototyping for system design over the course of the project. I have also learned C++ programming and the fundamentals of fuzzy logic.
Nice. So I think Melanie really kind of highlights how platforms like Public Invention not only provide the resources and accessibility to tools and skill sets to foster environments where projects can come out that we never thought we could contribute on, but they also provide mentors that help build and the trust and confidence of women and newcomers. This guidance allows students to kind of hone their craft and tackle challenges and gain independence to bring together their ideas into a real feasible solution. And we'll see this with what she took from Public Invention in the next slide. So here she kind of will break down what she enjoyed, what she's gained, and what Dr. Reed and others that are invention coaches like Lee have done for her and others. So let's hear from Melanie.
4 things that I have enjoyed while working on the Moonrat project were leading a global team and collaborating across cultures and disciplines. I love learning how to design PCBs from scratch and create 3D models, turning concepts into concrete and functional designs. I also enjoyed hands-on system design, soldering, and prototyping, as well as being mentored by volunteers who care and enjoy giving back. Using those lessons, I recently became a mentor myself for a young engineer, and I want to continue to inspire other creators. Working on Public Invention open source projects has led me to join other open source teams and provided me with a unique space to learn and experiment. In addition, I have gained invaluable skills such as technical expertise to create engineering, design, and rapid prototyping, pride in public innovation to build solutions that make a real difference for the global citizens, and most importantly, the creative agency to invent without any limits, and the confidence to be bold, embracing challenges fearlessly. For me, Public Invention has been my innovation incubator, where I can tinker, create, and push boundaries. Thanks to the founder, Dr. Robert Reed, and my inventing coach, Forrest Lee Erickson, I have gained the skills, confidence, and agency to turn ideas into reality. This experience has given me wings to fly, empowering me to build inventions that serve the world. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Melanie. Next, we're going to dig into the Craig project, and Nagam Kyuri is going to kind of explain what she got from it, what was developed, and then break into what it gave her back.
Now let's talk about Craig. What is Craig? Craig is a Wi-Fi enabled annunciator that alerts users to important issues that require attention. It organizes alarms into 5 severity levels to ensure clear and structured notifications. It can be controlled remotely and also supports audio file alerts, making it a flexible tool for various applications. Achievements. We've successfully integrated Wi-Fi capabilities into the GPAD project, making it Craig. The PCB board is currently being manufactured and the enclosure is in the design phase, bringing us closer to a functional prototype. Social impact. Craig enhances reliability in receiving critical notifications. Instead of constantly checking a device, users are alerted only when necessary, ensuring timely responses and reducing distractions. Craig is a project of Public Invention, public charity dedicated to inventing in the public for the public.
Nice. Thank you, Nagam. Now we're going to dig into kind of the skills acquired, and the knowledge developed, and then also the initial limitations she had before joining the project and how the project helped her overcome them.
Through my volunteering at Public Invention, I've learned a diverse set of technical and professional skills that have contributed to my growth. I've expanded my expertise in GitHub and Git Bash for version control, PCB design, and electronics. I've also worked on 3D design and printing, project management, and coordination with engineers. These experiences have strengthened my ability to delegate tasks effectively and communicate across disciplines. One of the biggest challenges in STEM is access to hands-on learning. Through public invention, I was able to work on real-world projects, applying my knowledge in practical settings. I also gained access to essential materials for development and had the invaluable opportunity to learn from experienced mentors who provided guidance throughout the process.
Thanks. Projects like Crake, I think, make a major impact in a lot of individuals early on in their career. I think that by using open source projects and communities to kind of foster trust within yourself and your capacity, but also the confidence to go on and mentor others and contribute to other ideas and projects that help and impact the community, it really grows an individual further than maybe academics alone do, or schoolwork, or even just by going into the workplace. So we're hoping to encourage others to kind of consider open source projects as a solution for some of the challenges you may face as a woman in STEM. We see this with some current projects we'd like to kind of promote, including the GOSQUAS project. So the GOSQUAS project is the global open source quality assurance system. This project provides an opportunity to kind of create truthful, transparent documentation via their open source province tracker known as GDT, or Global Distributed Tracking. This allows anyone with the project data to kind of trace the province or history of that data and add it to it using a website browser. This is to make it easily accessible and low cost. And so some things to know about it is they're currently looking for full stack developers proficient in TypeScript or Vue that are willing to kind of offer up 6 hours a week to contribute to this project. If you are interested in languages like JavaScript, TypeScript, using Vue, Azure Blob Storage, or I think it's Nets, then definitely contribute on projects like this. They're actively looking for volunteers. And what's really important to note and highlight here is that this team is predominantly women, actually, or women identifying. They have great leads, some of those SMEs that worked with Microsoft, and they're inclusive of all ages, genders, and experience levels. So don't be afraid to contribute on open source projects with where you are or your given background, because a lot of the contributors are actually also women or people with very experienced levels. So many are welcomed. Now, if you know of full stack developers that are proficient in these languages, we'll definitely highly pick them up and welcome them to the team, because that's kind of their need currently in the project stage that they're in, which I guess from there, it's kind of also important to kind of talk about the social impact that this project is doing to help align you with the mission of this project and those that might be interested in contributing. So currently they're collaborating with different organizations, including Decentralized Medical Device Manufacturing, or DMDM, and they're completing this pilot program for a tourniquet manufacturing project. And this is important because it's leading way for it to become utilized in industry, even though it's an open source tool. And we see this with their GDT being used as a quality assurance documentation tool, as well as used in shipment and delivery verification. GDT is also being validated as a tool for open source manufacturing as a whole. And if you go to their repository, as seen on this slide, you'll kind of see some of their success stories and accomplishments so far, which includes kind of a test where they placed a sign out by a pond to help track using a QR code the different numbers of turtles that would pass in a nearby environment of a pond or lake area. And this is cool because it helps you interact with the actual concept and kind of get how easily accessible this device is for tracking, but as well as you can see the full project history. Data is retained and it's secure based off of your access to that data, which is revolutionary for open source tools. And as well, I think it will help a lot with quality assurance in industry as well, because it will partner with regulatory bodies and abide by those rules depending on the industry to kind of track and mark where an object is, or a medical device, or some type of substance, object, or prototype is in its delivery stages or manufacturing period. With this in mind, I'd like to give a few minutes to some of the leaders of that project that might be here today. Is Victoria and Christina interested in coming off mic and kind of sharing a little bit about their team or the project as a whole?
Hello, yes, I'm here and I believe I have Victoria here as well. And we have Judith here. Judith, it's great to see you. Judith was one of our early developers on the project. And Megan, thank you for that overview. Really nice overview of the project. And it's something that started in 2022 and is gaining traction. A lot of work has gone into it, and we've just had a really wonderful team. And as you mentioned, the diverse skill set, everything from developers to marketing, all aspects of a project or a product, really. And it's just been a journey that has been very nice to be a part of. So thank you.
Absolutely. No,
And I think
really.
Victoria, are you here too? Do we have a Victoria?
I am here, yes.
Hello.
Hi. Yes, Megan, thank you so much for this this lovely promotion of global distributed tracking. We are in the midst of creating some really exciting media for a marketing campaign, which is going to illustrate the DMDM tourniquet manufacturing pilot program, as well as some how-tos and introductions on how the system is used and how it applies to tracking humanitarian aid. So we're really excited about that. Hope to have some of that roll out maybe around April or May. And our goals for this year are to onboard some more users within the humanitarian space and continue to engage open source manufacturers who can use this for documentation purposes. And we do anticipate a white paper coming out reporting about how global distributed tracking was used for open source manufacturing. So it's a lot of exciting progress, putting new information in the open source world this year.
Thank you so much for sharing on that and for coming off mic and just contributing to this slide. I think it's really important to kind of hallmark this project and kind of shed light on the impact it's having on communities as well as manufacturing as a whole, whether open source or for profit. With that being in mind, I want to keep going with the presentation just to kind of end up the final thoughts, wrap it up, and then open up for a Q&A. It seems we still are doing pretty good on time. But yes, if you're interested at all in this project, definitely connect with Christina or with Victoria or even myself if you're interested, and we'll give you more information and help you get associated. Okay.
As we wrap up, let's talk about how we can turn these ideas into action. Real change happens when we take intentional steps towards a more inclusive and supportive STEM community. Establish a strong support system. We all need a network of peers, mentors, and allies who encourage and support us build connections that uplift you and help you grow. Encourage women-led projects that address challenges faced by women. Women know best the challenges they face. By leading and supporting projects that tackle their issues, we create real impact. Implement policies, rules, and regulations that protect and uphold the rights and dignity of all individuals, regardless of gender identity or physical abilities. Advocating for inclusive policies ensures that workplaces and educational spaces are safe and equitable for everyone. Promote grassroots initiatives, including the involvement of young women and teenagers in STEM and scientific research. Recognize the influence of education and society in shaping women's participation in STEM fields. Representation matters. When we challenge biases in education and society, we open doors for more women to enter and succeed in STEM. Mentorship and knowledge sharing strengthen our community. As we grow, let's bring others along with us. Start your own project. If the opportunity that you seek does not exist, Create it. Innovation begins with taking that first step. Each of us has a role to play in making STEM more inclusive. Let's commit to supporting, mentoring, and advocating for change. Together, we can create opportunities and build a stronger future. Thank you.
Thank you, Naim. So with that being said, we really appreciate everyone who's attended and listened. This is just our perspective on what the challenges could look like, some of the solutions that we can offer, and some resources to kind of collaborate and overcome some of these challenges by contributing in open source environments, as well as projects to help build your career and professional skill sets. That's pretty much it for our presentation. Are there any questions?